Rotary, the way to be a leader with respect, ever humble, speaking the truth always, never a lie to tell. Give me your hand, my friend. Rotary is good.
Fellow Rotarians,
Rotary, the way to be.
on behalf of the district governor and all of us, this training section is here I call to order. Shall we rise?
You have that. For your drinks, for anything you want, please by 7 you will enjoy your cocktail. But today we are going to do what we call public image seminar. We welcome you to the city of Owerri. Relax and enjoy your session. Thank you so much.
So let's have a partner with our district community coordinator to get things right. And we just want to show you today why and why it's important to get our public image right. 2, how you should get the public image right. And give you the tools you need to also succeed in this area. And for that, we have several very seasoned public image experts. Many of you may not know that our own PDG individual was an assistant Rotary public image coordinator himself in charge of Nigeria then, for sure. Alright? So please let me applaud you. 941 will also be giving us. Then her immediate predecessor, the one that took us on for the past 2 years. Was it 3 years? 2 years. 3 years. Past 3 years that we are on now. Our own immediate past assistant image coordinator will let the speakers, our ears, open our hearts, and let us learn all about this public image.
You need to define a path. When we release the rating for July, I appreciate all the clubs that had to go create Facebook pages because of that assessment. I appreciate all the clubs that revived their pages because of that assessment. I appreciate all the clubs that corrected the logos, inappropriate logos that were used. The assessment is going to be a monthly thing. I was privileged to go through clubs reports for the past 2 or 3 years. And I noticed that some clubs write that they have social media accounts. You go to those accounts and the accounts have not been operated in 2-3 years. You go to those accounts and the accounts have been turned to something else, nothing related to Rotary is there. That's part of the reason why we have to take the state lead. So you see the need to assess, re-strategize, and then you get better results. And I appreciate so much all the clubs that are key into this effort. I thank you all and I hope that we will keep on with that level of energy. Now for that assessment, what we're looking at, we go through your pages. Look at how many posts are you making? Are you reporting activities that are going on in your club? Not just reporting the activities. How many people like your post? A simple like can make your post to appear in 100 pages. That's what we insist on it. How many people are commenting on your pages or your post? The perception people have about your organization go a long way to tell how your organization can be rated, how your public image gain have impacted on the organization. And then we talk about what makes the difference. Some people call it value proposition. What are you doing that is different, that makes you stand out? What is that thing that whenever they are referring to it, they link your organization to it? You can use it to measure your organization. And then we talk about the strength. Every organization has its peculiarity. Every organization has tech that it will strive on. You know what works better for you. You know what is favorable in your environment. Capitalize on it. When you capitalize on it, you will stand out. You now bring up strategy, bring up ways of addressing it, and you can possibly turn your weaknesses to strength. And then reactions and feedback. That's quite straightforward. What reaction do you get about your organization? What feedback do you get when you send out anything? That tells me a whole lot. That will help you measure your organization's public image. This is our performance so far in regards to Rotary and our district. I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate the consciousness in trying to improve our virtual presence. And I'm so happy with the significant level of Rotary visual guideline compliance that we have. I'm so happy that some Rotarians that are not even public image checks, some volunteer to serve in the public image team. Some find it worthy to bring to our attention what they think is not right. Some find it right to approach people and say, this is not right, do it the other way. Building a good public image is not a one-person job. It's a teamwork. And I'm happy and I'm excited that we are a great team. Thank you very much. I've talked to the president, talked to the assistant governor, but still, I don't know how they operate. But please, if you're here and your club is one of such clubs, do something about it. Okay, I talked about the 4th point, Rotarians, and even retractors. And then participation in the training, I talked about it. And then we had clubs organizing visits and mini training sessions to be acquainted with Rotary public image guidelines. Some clubs have done that. I expect other clubs to follow. If your training is online, if you invite me, I will join. I've joined some clubs in some states. I'm always available. You can always reach out to me. And of course, we have a lot of public image guru in our district. Our own PhD only. She has served as Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator. Our immediate past district governor is also a public image guru, public image champion. And then of course, our Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, even though she's in Port Harcourt, she's now forward, she's always there for us. She makes the first virtual training possible, and she has promised that we'll have more of such training. And I'm aware that she also links us with the training, a public image training in Ghana. So more such opportunities are coming. And then the last one, I'm also impressed with some state public image checks. They've drawn up schedules to visit clubs and address public image issues. Please, when they approach you, give them the necessary cooperation. The need for retooling. Remember, we are talking about measuring public image and the need for retooling. And I said retooling is all about re-strategizing. You can only re-strategize effectively when you have measured your performance. You have identified your lapses. You have identified needs that need to be addressed. You've identified opportunities that you could take advantage of. As far back as 1935, Owerri had warned us that this is a changing world and we must be prepared for this. That is to say change is not new. We need to ask ourselves, do we still have communities that don't know about our organizations? Do we still have people perceiving our organizations otherwise? If the answer is yes, then there is great need for retooling. And that need must be addressed. This brings me to what we are going to embark on again very soon. I hope you won't complain I've been disturbing you too much. Assessments, and then this is coming. I've had the approval of the DG to announce that very soon we are going to measure our own impact. If you go to the learning center, you will see some survey results, survey that have been carried out about Rotary public image, what people say Rotary is. Now, their environment is different from us. There are things peculiar to their environment. There are things peculiar to us. There are things that are of advantage us and disadvantage them. We want to have our own assessment that matches with reality, that matches with what is obtainable in our environment. So very soon we'll be rolling out forms targeting mostly Rotarians and non-Rotractors. We want to get their perception of Rotary. We also want to measure how effective our social media campaign has been. I know I've been on your neck to post, to tag, to share posts, to do this. Let us measure and see how effective it is. Let us measure and know the lapses and know how to cover them. And then we have been hearing stories of, almost in every public image gathering, we talk about Rotary stories. Sometimes we call people, come and share your Rotary stories. Those are, they still exist, informal reports. Now we want to have a formal collation of Rotary stories. With this survey we are going to do, we'll get to hear from people their interaction with Rotary. Some people have very fantastic experiences with Rotary. We'll get to hear what impact Rotary have made in themselves or their community. And you will agree with me that if we publish that, it will be a solid material for reference. If we can do that, it could be something that we could step on to improve our performances. We will be able to identify, matching with reality, the areas we need to work on. And then this is a simple model for retooling. It's quite small, you can see. But the whole material will be shared after now. To revisit some of those things to show a big focus on what you need to do. And then we have collaborative commitment. We often refer to ourselves as a network of neighbors and friends. That shows you that emphasizes, that is that Rotary is all about collaboration. And like I said, retooling is not a one-man task. It is a collective one. Everyone needs to be involved. It is difficult to retool when everybody cannot identify, or majority cannot identify the issue at hand. That collaboration must be there. You meet resistance. Some human beings are actually very particular about resisting change. Some is out of fear. Things are okay where they are. Let us remain this way. We are not sure of the next step. Things like that will come up. But if we come together as a team, work with a common purpose, we can overcome that kind of fear. And when that resistance comes, the best thing is not to push the person aside. You can make the person identify with the need for it to happen and know that it's not the one person thing. As a team, we can always overcome. And then you talk about skills. When you have measured, you know the skills you need. What are the additional skills you need to reach that result? What are the skills you lack? Or what are the skills you have, but you have not been making use of? And then we talk about reward. Reward here is not to breed unhealthy competition, but it's just a simple way of showing appreciation for effort. It is a form of motivation. And then you should know what works, with who and with what. The reward for environment A might not be the same for environment B. Human beings have levels of needs, and that to some extent defines what can motivate them and what cannot. And then we talk about resources. These are 3 guides for new processes. If you're trying to bring up new processes, make the resources for the new processes available and the way to go about it. Ensure that the resources needed are available. And then we talk about the action plan. All what we say be a waste if they don't translate to a tangible plan. You need to have a tangible plan, a plan that will manifest and bring results, positive results, appreciable results. We come to my conclusion, time for everything. The world is changing. People are changing along with it. The change is becoming intense. Tests are changing. New needs are being identified. It is time to rethink. It must always be the old way. So there's some companies that along the line you don't get to hear about them again. There's some organizations that die. But there's some organizations that have embraced retooling, changing with time, adopting strategies that work with contemporary needs, with contemporary opportunities. That is what is left for us. We cannot continue being where we are. We cannot continue having the results we always have. We need to have a rethink. We need to put this rethink into action. We need to make progress. We need to bring out appreciable results, and we need to appreciate ourselves. That way, we'll have more people joining us. And when more people join us, the work is easier. And when more people join us, we can do more, far more than we are doing. If Rotary is already doing so long, a lot impacting lives, imagine what more we can do if we have triple the number we have now. Of course, the world will be a better place. I look forward to an enhanced public image perception, not just in our district, but in Rotary. I know you and I can do it. Together as a team, we can take Rotary to a different destination. Thank you very much.
Am I audible enough? Can you hear me? Thank you. Cool. I'm a past ARP president and currently the district editor for the second time. When you fail the exam in Rotary, they ask you to repeat the class. Next slide, please. Let's look at what is crisis communication. I'm not a teacher, neither am I a lecturer. How many of us have heard about the world crisis? If you have heard about the world crisis, just raise your hand of any year. You've not heard about crisis all your life. You've never heard. Let's apply before we test them. You have heard. What is crisis? Disturbances. Great. Have you ever heard that word?
Well, there are a lot of crises. They know what we are doing is crisis.
To our well-being, threats to our reputation, threats to Rotary International, threats to reputation. Even when you're working, you have crisis. The next slide. I'll take our minds back to some years back when the issue of monkeypox came about. I'm sure we remember it. Just before the World Polio Day. And we're asking ourselves, how are we going to manage this? People are afraid of having their children immunized. What to do? What do crisis communicators do? The schedule of the crisis communication team is to protect the brand identity and maintain the organization's firm standing. I'm sure we'll listen to the DPIC talk to us about organization tools, and we cannot talk about it without the brand. All we are here to learn is to know how to protect our brand and how to promote the Rotary brand. So, the crisis communication specialists work hard to overcome tough situations and help the organization come out of difficult situations in the best possible and biggest way. That is what a crisis communicator does. And by the way, all of us are. In one way or the other, you manage crisis in your home, in your relationships, in your family, in your workplace. No organization can operate successfully without the direct or indirect support of its stakeholders. And for us in Rotary, who are our stakeholders? Can anyone answer the guess? Stakeholders in Rotary. Thank you. Action President, Action Government President, affects or is affected by your organization, its strategies and projects. So as we are here, somehow, we are affected by where we belong. If not, we wouldn't have found ourselves. We wouldn't have left the comfort of our homes to be here. A stakeholder has a vested interest. He or she has a stake in what happens in the organization. Now we're referring to our clubs, and also has something to gain or lose as a result of your corporate activity. If, for instance, we hear something bad about Rotary International, hey, all of us will be worried. Begin to ask ourselves, what can we do to remedy the situation? And in your club, your presence, your actions, all of them have positive or negative impact on your well-being and the well-being of that club. If your club is not also doing well, it will affect you. You know, whenever the district governor will come and says, take of the district, and you see the name of your club, they will not pay. How many of us feel bad? Now, chef, they can catch me very well. So say, hey, this people have paid, and you've not paid. You know, now you have to do it with your club, but you put up that club, so you use somehow. Next slide. All right, ways of putting out the fire before it starts. Develop strong relationships with your key stakeholders. In our clubs, how do we relate to one another? Whether we like it or not, why we are here is because we are member of various Rotary clubs. I keep saying that crisis is part of everyday life. How do we relate with one another? Siblings disagree, quarrel. Let's talk of people who don't even know themselves. So we must have crisis in our clubs. But the very first thing we should learn is for us to be able to manage crisis in our clubs, we should be able to develop strong relationships. If you're my very good friend, do that, I'll tell you, what you did yesterday, let's see. And what will you say? I'm sorry. But if you're not my friend, if you are, what do what did I do to you? But if we relate very well, if we have strong bonds, what I feel, the pains I feel, the joy I feel, you can also feel it. Am I right? And okay, you see what happened some weeks ago? We lost a Rotary. The whole social media was awash. Everybody was like, this is not even your son. It's not even your brother. Then because of the points we shared in Rotary and Rotaract, all of us were touched. So, if you want to put out fire before it starts burning in your club, let us learn to build relationships. It is a deliberate thing to build relationships. It's not a remote, it's not as which one switch off. It's a deliberate thing. I decided to be your friend. I chose you as my friend. It's not like you want to be my friend. No, they work like that. All right, the second item is Rotarians and our Rotaractors are our most important stakeholders. Do not take them for granted or you will regret this during crisis. You know, there are people who know how to quench fire. There are others who know how to burn the fire. Maybe they bomb. Are you one of them? As Rotarians, we are peacekeepers. We are crisis managers. No matter what is happening in your club, let us learn to manage it. It can only get better. Always bear in mind that your stakeholders are oftentimes decision makers and influencers who have great impact on the future of the organization. We're talking about membership day. If you find a club that's always having issues, will you go there? You only pay your dues and wait for the man to finish this year and you return. But that is not right. Let us move from that thinking. Be deliberate about integrated communication. It's not community, it's communication. This involves monitoring news coverage relevant to your organization, internal feedbacks from your stakeholders. Here we're talking about the trends and interactors, and monitoring of your social media channels where you can track conversations. See what price it comes from out there. Where you can track conversations and posts involving your customers, influencers, and others about your brand. The world today is in our hands. Everybody can use the phone. By this time last year, nobody was coming out. Even that woman you thought is not educated, knows how to handle his her phone. Everybody became glued to our phones. We should be able to monitor what happens on our social media channels. Very, very important. Very, very important. If not, you'll be watching BB Nigeria and they will carry your club and do away. Let us learn to monitor our social media channels because that is where the world is tilting towards. Alright, the next thing you need to do is to learn to make effective use of your social media channels and try to create positive dialogue in them. Do not go to your social media and be telling them that if mama, you not stay at them, you just carry one story and post on your channel. But I know that I'm talking about you. That one the way we get. Let us not involve ourselves in posting or sharing information that do not build. It's very, very important. So let's learn, because once you do it, somebody somewhere will do her own and send to Twitter, and that one will trend more. Do you know that the worst time to start planning for a crisis is when you are in the middle of it? That's the worst time. Don't wait for it. Have something in place. If, for instance, you wake up and the person that greets you in the morning is that one nasty news about your club or somebody who is very dear to you or about your somewhere you work, how do you react? There should be some persons who are going to find a way to tell the world the truth about what is happening. Say it the way it is, but be calm about it. Acknowledge uncertainty. Tell only what you know. Don't say what you don't know. Don't speak for the district governor. Don't speak for the president. Say the one you know. Don't generate stories which you do not have. If you tell the one you know, you can say, okay, I'm going to refer to public image chair or this person or the service project chair. I think he has other things to tell about it. Learn to tell the one you know. This involves showing your distress. If, for instance, something happened and it's from your club, maybe something happened, let's say that you had a project done somewhere. Let's use, for instance, maybe some toilets, and the next day, there's something way collapsed. Learn to go now. Everybody can make a mistake. Emphasize that a process has been put in place to check further reoccurrence. Let's say that you had a project done. Okay, the four-way test billboards, we just did it yesterday. And by this morning, the thing has hit someone who is passing by and is carrying your club's name. How would you feel? First, you're going to show concern about the person that is injured and reassure whoever that is there that next time I'm going to be sure that we are going to do a very solid work. And I assure you this thing will not have a repeat. Give anticipatory guidance, just said it. Be regretful, not defensive. There are two different things. Being regretful and being defensive. A lot of us find it very difficult to say, I'm sorry. You did something and it's costing a lot of press in the club or the district. Please, I'm sorry. Tempers can go high. You can only go high, you can go nowhere. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Just I was mad today. I'm sorry. You know, sorry has a way of making people feel good. Learn to say, we are sorry about what has happened. It won't happen again. Acknowledge people's fear. See that COVID time, I was sharing palliatives. Yeah, I fear. We are going to share palliatives. Did anybody get that he or she may contact COVID? And yeah, I was afraid. So when you see people express that fear, don't tell them, no, package yourself now. No, it's natural to be afraid. What is important is how do you manage the fear? Yeah, you should be afraid. I assure you, this is what we've done. You are not going to get infected. Alright? I knew more. I wish I knew it wasn't going to be like this. I wish. I don't wish this thing would have happened the way it did. I'm sorry it did, but I wish I knew I wouldn't have allowed it. Be willing to address the what-if questions. I'm sure you have been in a situation where you're telling them about what happened, and somebody say, what if? And you say, forget that, it didn't happen now. Learn to address that what if, because there must be what if. You're entering this hall, and maybe water spilled on the floor, and you kind of slip. What if question is a natural question? People want to know. There are a lot of people that want to think the negative one. What if? So learn to know how to address that. Be willing to address the what if questions. Next slide. People are waiting for another. This is my number, my details. And I want to end like this. Crisis is part of our everyday activities in the country. It's a way of life. But one of the areas of focus of Rotary is peace building. So be deliberate about managing crisis because you must have confidence. As a Rotarian, as a Rotaractor, you are a peace builder. Before he assumed office as governor, he told us he almost resigned. We heard that story, did we? That he was able to manage it. And today we are coming out stronger and stronger. I don't know if you have any question. Do you have any question for me? I should have sit down. I should have sit down. Thank you very much. She's going to talk about the next 30 seconds. But I share one story with you about her. When I was at the LPIC, I was crazy about the brand. Sure, once you become LPIC, you are the police, brand police. People be asking, don't you do sleep? Who died because of this Rotary brand? And now, Bella is feeling the heat. Bella just apply more shock absorbers. But with time, they will appreciate. I had a lot of practical sessions I ran in the districts that I was covering, 914 and 914. And the big cemetery was always available during those sessions. It took the she knew she was going to be the ARPIC. So any next few seconds, listening to my boss, I call her my big sister, the big cemetery, to tell us about using the story to expand our reach. Welcome her, she crossed 7 rivers. Come here.
Thank you.
Put your hands together for yourself. I thought that we would get that very possible district governor. And because the lead pathfinder, the boss of bosses when it comes to PI. Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon. We are in a communication session and there is no communication. Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Feels good to feel it's supposed to be a vibrant club workshop. The operating word is vibrant. So when we're either sleeping or doing our phones and it takes away the vibrancy. My name is Imo State. I think I have been told, you have been told that I'm a Rotarian. And I think that's perhaps the biggest credential I have to be here. But professionally, I work in media communications. And I have told stories all my life. I've worked as a journalist for like 3 years and counting, so I'm a storyteller. I guess that's why they asked me to talk to you about storytelling. Storytelling as a tool to expand our reach. I'm hoping that I'm moving this puzzle right. I hope I was. I'm thinking that I'm moving the Igbo. Relate? Can everybody relate with that? Igbo. Can we remember? For the Igbo, telling stories. We're telling stories, people want to hear it. They want to know what's going on next. Okay. So, we want to tell stories because when we tell stories, people can connect to what we're saying. Alright? When you want to tell a story, think about it. You're growing up and someone wants to share with you moral values, and they tell you, once upon a time, a tortoise went to go and marry a wife. And you're listening, your attention, you want to know what is happening next. Alright? So in order for consumers to form a personal connection with your brand, storytelling is good. But when you tell those stories, they have to be authentic, they have to be creative, and they have to inspire. People must listen to your story and they think, oh my God, really? So you start a story. The Rotary Club of Owerri Town, for instance, probably just gave some money to lift 500 children out of poverty. And you want to tell that story. And you go on Facebook and say, Chinedu and his mom living in a one bedroom that is 4x4 for 3 years. Chinedu couldn't go to school until the Rotary Club of Owerri Town arrived to Chinedu's hometown. Now, Chinedu and his mother have received money. They have just moved to a bigger home. Chinedu's mother now sells oranges, and Chinedu started school last week. Anybody reading that gets excited. Wow, those people just changed somebody's life. Now, that is different from going to Facebook and I see 2 pictures. President John Peters, Vice President Thomas James, District Governor Okefon, at the handover ceremony of 2 keys to Chinedu's mother. Who is that? Is there a personal connection? Does it inspire me? Who cares? Who cares about President whoever? And this bunch of smiling people wearing yellow vests? Who cares? How does it matter to me? So storytelling is a powerful tool because we're social animals. And we love to hear stories. Even when we're thinking about young children, and it doesn't matter whether you're from Nigeria or from the US. And that's why Superman makes so much money. They want to connect with a superhero. The superhero who comes in and everything goes right. Rotary wants you to tell stories of superheroes. And sitting in this hall are the superheroes about whom we want to tell the story. So, our stories help us express our emotions. We're able to share sad times. We share happy times. We share our challenges. We share our successes. Stories for us as Rotarians help communicate our essence. When you talk about the fact that our voice is compassionate. And when we tell our stories, we show ourselves as people of action, leaders who come together to take action to create lasting change. What was happening in this district, and I just picked a few thoughts. I don't know if you can see these pictures very well. The pictures of the Rotary Club was here at Owerri. Amazing project. My problem is I went and I saw the pictures and I saw empty beds. I saw a lot of empty beds, a lot of reverend fathers sitting together, so I thought we were about to have mass. And then I looked very closely, I saw No? And then suddenly I saw some birds appear. Looks like Reverend Father wants to start in hospital. That's the story. That's the story I see. Every time we tell stories, the picture should be about the beneficiaries. Not talking heads like we call them in India. We're not interested in the talking heads. I now went to read the story. I said, you mean this picture of this Reverend Father was actually about a district project? Really? About PPEs? But it didn't capture me. It didn't crack me. I couldn't connect emotionally. Now I love this story. I love this story. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. And I'm sure you're wondering, why is it beautiful? People like, really, what is so important about it? Sunrise, the same example. A great initiative, by the way. But you know what I would have done with this? I would have used the beauty of the imagery ceremony to talk about peace and conflict in a stronger way, and to show how it could actually begin to change conflict in that community. Excellent projects, excellent pictures. Perhaps it would have been a bit more excellent. Yes, I saw. Oh, okay. So this is what happened. The Rotary Club of Owerri, provisional, it's a provisional club, and they wanted to support the environment in collaboration with several other clubs in Owerri. And they mounted a billboard at the Nnamdi University of premises. The billboard was to sensitize the university community on the need to support the environment by planting trees and carrying out best practices to support the environment. The billboard was commissioned by District of Rotary Year. In attendance, there are assistant governors. After the commissioning, the district governor proceeded to the Nnamdi University. Can I have the first paragraph of that story? Everybody, you get what I just read what they wrote. So basically what they wrote was this. DGOK went to Owerri and commissioned a billboard to support the environment. Now, if you were not a Rotarian, would that excite you? Will it excite you? Please talk to me. Will it excite you? Will you want to join? Do you have a clue what the hell they're talking about? Do you? Okay, so give me the first paragraph that changes the story. The first paragraph. Just give me 3 lines. Change the story for me. Change the story. These clubs want to do something about the environment. Change the story for me. Give me the first 3 lines. And the first person who has ready, please give me. Am I communicating? Is everybody at sea, or you get what I'm asking for? I want you to turn the story around, turn it on its head. Some clubs in Owerri want to tell us about a project. That project is a billboard erected in the Nnamdi University, Owerri. And the billboard talks about protecting the environment. And DG Okonkwo was present to unveil it. I want you to tell that story in a voice that shows that those clubs are compassionate, are inspiring, are smart, understand what they want to do, and are taking action to bring lasting change. Those are the first 2 lines in the book. Have I communicated better? Is there anybody who wants to help me? Very quickly. Oh, I will. Yes, sir. Please. Very quickly. That's the first 2 lines.
If you let me, I will start with our lands are going there. And for us to protect it, the message has to be passed on. We, members of Rotary Club of Owerri, PPP, to raise a billboard and invite the district government commissioner.
Thank you very much, please. Thank you very much. Can you please join me and put your hands together? Is there anybody from Sorry, are we all in the same room? Is there anybody from those clubs in the room? What about any of the assistant governors who was present? Okay, please. Yes, ma'am. Please take the mic to her. Sorry, forgive me. Part of my problem is that I'm a teacher, as well as a journalist. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Okay, great. So what was that project? What was on the billboard?
The billboard, like I said, was
What was the message on the billboard?
Rotary is interested in protecting the environment. So, clubs, you mentioned the clubs, came together, DDP to find place to ensure that we have a safe and healthy environment. And this is also promotes Rotary's areas of focus about protecting the environment. Simple.
Thank you very much, ma'am. But what was, yes, you know what was on the billboard? Save the environment. All right. What's the biggest threat in Owerri? Does anybody know? Erosion. Excellent. Can you know who is that person? Who gave me that answer? Where is the person? Okay, now my own t-shirt. Right. So, if it was me, I would say landslides and erosion are commonplace in Owerri. Rotary clubs have come together to deal with this. And so, on this Tuesday, they put up a billboard asking people to do X, Y, Z so that we can have safer environment. That's just trying to. But I will take the idea of the problem in the place that everybody can connect with and show a solution to that problem. That's the whole point of the stories we tell. So, what are the fundamentals of storytelling for us? Number one, first is that it's not something you do once and stop doing. You must do it consistently. Number two, everything must fit into the broader narrative. So when you tell a story, you must remember our voice and visual guidelines. You must remember that no matter what story you tell, as Rotarians, what we want you to end up telling people, together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change around the world, in our communities, and in ourselves. Every time you write a story, remember that you want to show that. You want to show us as people of action. Okay, the four parts of our brand storytelling. One, we must set up the situation. What's the problem? Two, we must chronicle the conflict. Three, we must offer a resolution. So the problem, we set up. The situation is that Rotary clubs came together to set up this billboard. The conflict is that we have environmental issues and a lot of people are not aware of what they need to do. The resolution is that these clubs are educating people so that they stop it. And the call to action is everybody please protect your environment. Now, every time we tell stories, those stories must be personal and connect to the needs of the audience. So when you post something on people just putting their hands together and enjoying themselves. You haven't really talked to me who is not a Rotarian. The story must be compelling, but the story must also be true. By saying you should tell stories, please don't pluck it from somewhere. Don't tell lies. Tell real stories so that people can connect with the human beings. You know, when you tell a story in Uyo, and you're the Rotary Club of Uyo Municipal, the people in your catchment area are likely to recognize that story. So they will know it's true. And non-Rotarians will lay credence to it by saying, it is true, I know the woman. Very important. They must be factual. Be discerning in selecting the medium you use for what narrative. What you say in newspaper is different from what you say on TV, is different from what you say on Facebook, is different from what you say on Instagram, is different from what you say on Twitter. So the medium determines the message. As you tell your story, keep listening. Feedback. Well, we've talked about the fact of our campaigns, and I've repeated this over and over again. Now we tell our Rotary stories using our People of Action campaign. Every time we tell our stories, remember the things that matter to us as Rotary. I'm sure all of us know this, so please don't ever forget it. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action. I'm waiting for you to help me finish reading. Thank you. And our essence is that we join leaders from all across the world, from continents, cultures, and occupations, to exchange ideas and take action for communities around the world. This is how we tell our stories using our People of Action campaign. And it focuses, like I've said repeatedly, on raising awareness and understanding of Rotary. And as you tell your stories, remember videos and pictures, because the world is going visual. Even as you're seated here, many of you will be tired if all we do is talk. Videos, and videos. 82% of internet traffic by 2022, according to Cisco, will be made up of videos. Marketers and business people use videos, that's all they use. All of these are videos, but the very important thing to note is that if you want people to retain anything you said, please use a video. Because 95% retention is what you get when people watch, and 10% is what you get when you read. So what does this mean? It means that telling stories is good, visuals are great, and we're asking you to merge both. Every time we talk about what you're doing in your clubs, let's do the two. I was pleased to see what Bella did with her social media impact assessment. That says a lot. And I hope that we take it seriously, because it says a lot. I see our clubs exploding. You know, the more people know what we do, the more they connect with us on social media, the more likely we are to have membership. You want to drive membership. You cannot drive membership if people don't know you. If people don't love you. How many people watch Big Brother? Don't lie. Don't just lie. How many of us watch Big Brother? Don't just lie. Okay, how many of us watch? I watch it vicariously. How many of us watch it vicariously? That is, you watch it because whether you like it or not, someone is talking about it around you. How many? Yeah. Whether you like it or not, there are people discussing it. And the thing is driving traffic, so press onto it. Don't even start with me. The kind of traffic that Big Brother has, even the storytelling. In a picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is priceless. I don't comment that a video is there over and over and over again. 2.7 billion people, 2.7 billion hours of social media or videos. Finally, storytelling is not inventing a story. You don't just decide what to say. You say facts. So number one is that it must be factual. Number two is that we must show, not tell. So if you just write a story that tells, rather than actually shows, you would have failed. I guess you ask me what do I mean. To tell means that, you know, like that narrative, video, and agents came and put up a billboard. To show is to get me to be a participant in the storytelling. And we want to tell the stories in our voice, even as we must listen to our audience on the storytelling. When people feel insecure about something, they look around for validation. We wanted to show people what Rotary is, why Rotary is important, why the work we do matters. Thank you.
Those for the new member orientation, the session has started. If you know you were registered free for the new member orientation, please go for it and don't miss it. Please, for this session, I want us to come closer, please. Please, there are 3 seats here. Can we just come closer? Because I don't have slides. I only have a board. I don't have slides. So you're going to benefit from what we have. Please, just come closer, please. Thank you very much. So, I'm going to share 3 stories that happened in a certain club. Let's just call that club Excellence Club. Okay, we'll see that 3 seats, please. If you want to come forward, so that we can actually share. So, let's take 3 stories. Excellence Club, you really do this? And you say yes. He said, no problem, we're going to support you. I will just run it by my board members and I will call you. And then you leave. And he calls some of his board members and they say, Excellence Club, empty, you should not be putting money there. And he says, why? No, Excellence Club, their members don't play by the books. They don't have integrity in their club. When we give them money, you can be sure that they will not use it for those projects. One scenario. Now, just stick with me in these 3 scenarios. And if you like, just jot down the stories. Like I said, I don't have slides. So please bear with me. But I'll prepare to write something down because we're going to take something. I know we're going to take. We're not talking about Rotary now. Did you see Rotary here? What do we say? Building your what? Building your organizational community. So we're going to learn something we're going to apply in our places of businesses. So this is something that will be profitable to us. Whether you own your own business or whether you own someone. So is it a deal? Would we write? Thank you very much. So just go story 1. Then story 2. You know, Excellence Club, we like new members. So you have a friend and a colleague who is female that works in your organization. So you tell her that Excellence Club, we do great things, we have projects, you build capacity, will train you as a leader. And she's so excited. And she goes home and tells her husband, there's this new club in town I want to join. It's called Excellence Club. The husband says, honey, can we talk about it later? And then 3 days later, she goes back to her husband. She says, you haven't said anything about this Excellence Club. Sweetheart, I'm not sure you should belong to that club. And then she keeps persisting. And then what does it say? It says, excellent club, the stories I've heard about the forums. I'm not sure it's the place I want my wife. That's the Excellence Club. Now, Excellence Club again has a youth wing called Vibrant Club. Vibrant Club is for young people. So, and this one is a member of the Excellence Club, a man. And the daughter comes and says, Daddy, I like the work we do in Excellence Club. Can I join the Vibrant Club, which is for young people like me? And you say, let's talk about it later. Maybe not now. And your daughter keeps nagging you. But you don't want your daughter to join Vibrant Club. Now, in all these 3 cases, what has happened? Let's discuss. Who knows? What has happened in Excellence Club? Please, do I have a spare mic? Spare mic, okay?
Yeah, the impression about the Excellence Club means they are not reliable. And it's not necessary that anybody.
Okay, now I'm going to ask for somebody to help me. Can I ask somebody to come to this board? You help me write down what people have said about Reliance Club. HOC, we're supposed to have free chat now. This is why you're making me come a lecturer. Okay. Who will help me? Anybody volunteer? Just write down the words people have said. Who will help me? I'll start with the first one. He said, not reliable. Yes, you are raising your hand. Okay.
Excellence of for government investors of faith, moral.
So we'll go with poor public image. Any more? Can we have a second mic so that this can flow? Where are the assistant trainers?
Excellence Club has a bad image representing.
Thank you. Bad image. Anyone? Yes.
Excellent Club has reputational damage.
Wow. Reputational damage. Oh, beautiful. Any other person? Okay, yes, somebody's going to thank you. First and then go ahead. Excellent Club is rejected. Rejected.
Didn't have any positive impact on society.
No positive impact in society. Yes, we take the last one. Okay. I like ladies to speak, so don't worry, we'll come to you. We'll come to you.
Excellence Club has capacity without reputation.
Has
capacity without reputation.
Has capacity without reputation. Okay. Lovely. Please, after that, we must take ladies though.
Excellent Club has no esteem in public.
Wow, no esteem in public. Yep.
So, it's discouraging.
The club is discouraging. Okay, beautiful. The last one from the lady. Yes, over here. the organization called Excellence is not reliable, has poor public image, bad image, reputational damage, rejected, low positive impact on society, capacity without reputation, low esteem in public, not encouraging, does not depict excellence. Now, could that story easily have been about any of our Rotary clubs? You don't need to give me an answer. You don't need to give me an answer. Could it easily have been about our Rotary club? So now, what do we need to do? We can be right. Please don't come here because I don't have slides. Nobody should disturb me for slides after this. So let's just go together. Now, what does an organization need to do to have positive public image? Look at the word, positive public image. Now let's talk about perception. What is perception? What's an idea? What is perception? Yes, please. Over there. Yes. Over there. Better. Thank you. What is perception? Is perception real? Is perception imagined?
Perception is how things are viewed or perceived.
How things are viewed. So, perception. How things are viewed. Yes.
Spontaneous belief or an idea once that name is mentioned by the people.
Spontaneous belief of an idea once it's mentioned. Wow. Yes, it's an intelligent person. Yes, over here, please.
Perception is what other things of me, how
People see. Yes. And the last one.
perception could also be how you present yourself, how you, the impression you give yourself about yourself to the public.
How I present myself. Okay. On Ndukwechukwu's wall on Facebook, he has written Rotarian, banker, father, wife, father, husband, and then somebody reads it and says, "Yeah, man." Which is the real perception? Yeah, man, right? Now, what is the indication? Perception is what? Perception is what?
What you think is.
Perception is what?
What you think is.
What you think
is.
What others think. Not what you say. Okay. So now we have now understood why public image is necessary. Positive public. Is anybody who doesn't understand this? So can we now go and look at some things? Thank you so much. I'm very grateful. Can we now go and look at some things we should be doing? Because now we're talking about public image for your organization. So whether you're the chief executive here, whether you're working for someone, the most important thing is that your organization needs public image in positive light. And then anything we say now, begin to build it into our brand. Will that work? Can we try that way? Okay, beautiful. So, let's go. So the first thing we should know is you must define your brand. What is your brand? When people come into contact with the organization, what should they live with? Now let me give us examples. And please though, I'm begging you, don't quote me. Now when you go into the Nigerian police force and you're living, what kind of impression do you live with? And we can be honest here. How many people go to the police station happily? How many people even leave it happier? and it's not a laughing matter because we are told in saner climates, when you're in doubt, when you're in danger, what do? You ask a police person or you go to the police station. So that means there's a dissonance between what they say they do and exactly right. Okay. Now, back as you have forgiven me, I'm also a banker. You have just come out of your bank and you're so annoyed. Why are you annoyed? Because you were not served well. What is all the banks do? And I said, bankers, please forgive me. You were not served well in that particular bank, right? But the bank's advert talks about a very reliable bank, upscale, this and that. And then you come out and somebody asks you, where are you coming from? You say, I went to bank A. And somebody says, how is bank A? What would be your response? Now you hear bank again, right? Now, the bank's adverts, are they wasting money on them? They are wasting money, right? So, in terms of public image, who are the likely people who will give you the true sense of that organization? The customer, right? Okay. So we say, respect your customers. I've used a very generic term, and I'll tell us why I said respect. When you respect somebody, what happens?
You receive feedback.
Huh?
You receive feedback.
You receive respect, right? So when you respect somebody, means that you do what? You value the person. What the order? You value the person. So that means, as an organization, if we are doing good public image, we must do what? Respect our customers. Now, we're not saying anything about Rotary. We're talking about the organization. But later we'll come back and see how it fits into Rotary. Okay? The third one. Define your core values. What are core values? If you say, many of us work in organizations, right? And we always have this thing to say, our core values. So, what is core value? What is a core value? Anybody? Can I see how much is on my just let me pass the mic down. Sorry.
For me, core values are virtues that an organization upon as a watchword and build it with clients.
Please come again.
They are set of virtues.
Virtues, right? Exactly. Okay, so who can say anything about core values? Somebody has said virtues. So like Caesar's wife, you must be above board. Above board. Okay, what else? Any other? Yes.
It has to do with those things you believe, the things you believe in, we hold strongly to.
Wow. So, we're talking about things we believe in, hold strongly to. Okay, fine. Now, the fourth one is that we must, again, this is coming up, when we had Idin talk about it, we must share our company stories. And I'm not going to spend so much time on stories. We know what the stories are about. You see, we must be able to bring our company in personal terms. You must be able to give your company a person, your organization. You must be able to make it breathe. When I was advertising, we say, and we used to say it this way, if Mango was a person, what type of a person would Mango be? Now, Mango is a party, water. But if Mango was a person, what kind of person would Mango be? Would he be inviting? Would he be disgusting? Would she be appealing? So, how do you share your company stories? Now, that's why you find that a lot of organizations do what we call corporate social responsibility, right? They want to speak about themselves in positive light. Now, our organization must have a vision. Right? A vision. Now, the vision is a dream. Am I right? The vision is a dream. Am I right? You shall right. The vision is a dream. Am I right?
Anticipation.
It's not a dream. I want to hear that alternative. Yes. Please. The vision is not a dream. It doesn't agree with me. No, just a lady beside me. Yes. So what's the vision?
The vision is a goal and aspiration.
A goal and aspiration, not a dream. So what is not a dream?
Because a vision, you need actionable steps to take effect.
That action was the one I was looking for. So the vision that is a dream without action is finished, right? Okay, so let me quickly run through our this is very important, and it comes out of this. We must be able to build trust. Now, if you see, so far, I've not mentioned anything about logo, have I? I've not mentioned anything about logo. We are talking about public image, but I've not said anything about logo. Are we communicating? So why would I say anything about logo? Is it right? I've written 6 things, I've not said anything about logo. I'm coming down. So why is it logo? Why is our logo out there? Okay. So we'll just take 2 more and then we come and okay, we'll put it somewhere. 7. Value your employees. No. I want to see how we can make this into what we really wrote to. Okay. I'm going to stop here. Now, remember we have been talking about an organization, right? We've said we want to build a great public image for our organization. I'm the Chief Executive of Excellence Company. I want to build a positive public image. Because that's one thing we're going to take out now. When you go back to your organization, you begin to ask them, what does the public image help us to do? If you have a company, what does it help you to do? Help you to grow the brand. Sell the brand. I want something that can bring it down. What does it help you at the end of the day? Profit! Whoever establishes a company without looking for profits, at the end of the day, all we have done is to to look for what? Profits. So, I'll just put it here. Profits. So let's now bring it down. And please, how many minutes more do I ask? I don't know how I can time. Now we now want to see how this problem image is going to work for us in Rotary. Right? Does it make sense? How is it going to work for us in Rotary? So we have said we define our brand. In Rotary, what's our brand? If Rotary were a lady, what would that lady do? Yeah? Said, okay? What else? Just think back to this lecture and you see what Rotary should be doing.
Inspire.
Inspire! Yes? What else?
Touch lives.
Eh?
Touch lives.
Touch lives? Mm-hmm. What did you say? Transform. Okay, motivate. So now we need to pause and ask ourselves, does Rotary inspire, motivate, transform, connect, touch lives, connect? Do we do that? Beautiful. So that is our brand. Our brand is well defined. How many more minutes do I have? 5 minutes. So I need to begin. Now, respect our customers. Who are our customers? The public. So I'm going to ask a critical question. How many times do you go back to respond to your customers? And I'm going to ask this question. Now is the period we are all doing installation. We have been going to see people in organizations, right? On your installation day, lots of people are going to come and donate money. Would we go back to that same public to tell them what we have done with their money? I mean, of course we do that. Because that's the respect for the public we're talking about. And that is what is going to help our successors go back to that same customer and do what? And ask and get it again. So where we are not giving a good account to the customer, now that is where we spoke about somebody saying excellence club does not do what? Does not have a reputation. Now, we have defined our 4 values. There are about 5. Can we take one of them? Who knows? Service, yeah? Yeah? Integrity, yeah? Leadership, diversity, Google, you can give information. And religion, we have mentioned integrity. And fellowship, not friendship. Fellowship. Now, they're all important, right? Each of them, leadership, friendship, fellowship, integrity, service, diversity. So now we must begin to ask ourselves, how diverse are our clubs? Because that's still part of the public image. Now, imagine a club where it is hard for you to attract female members. What kind of reputation would your club have? That's part of the public image. And then going down, we share our company stories. The team has treated that excessively, so I'm not going to spend time there, we'll just move. Now we go to vision. What is our vision? Who can say our vision statement? Anybody? Okay, yes.
Together, we see a world where people unite to take action to change
lasting change across the globe. Thank you very much. I was wondering why he was looking at that place. Okay, so that's our vision statement there. Together we see the world when we united, create lasting change, and so we say build trust. Now we have conflicts in our club, and in fact we have conflicts in every organization. But then the difference is whether we are able to manage our conflicts and resolve them well. Now, let me ask the question. Because we're talking about public image for our organization. Do we know our conflict resolution mechanisms in our club? Who knows what our conflict resolution mechanisms are in our club? Who knows? How do we resolve conflicts? As provided for in our bylaws and constitution. Yes? Who knows? Who knows? I think I'll give a prize for this one. What should I give as a prize? Our conflict resolution mechanism in Rotary clubs and specific. What are they? Because sometimes when we have conflict and we say, have you resolved them? They say we have done this. And I say, no, that is not Rotary. That is not the way we resolve conflicts. Who knows what they are? Yes. Okay, maybe you didn't understand. Maybe the French is too much. Let me break it down. So something has happened in your club and you suspended a member. And the member said, no, I don't agree. What is the thing that member can do? Can request for appeal.
When a member is agreed,
yes,
right? And he needs to be part of the club.
Yes.
Right. The best thing is to slow down and get back to leadership in a grand style to find out where he has ended and see whether they can get it right.
I know, but there's a method. What is that method? Because there are some people who have not agreed. Yes, that President Fred, what is it? Yes. Anybody? Yes, past president does. Yes. Arbitration or what? Either arbitration, the person can request for either arbitration or
Let every good man trace his
and it's safe. Now, after you do that, refresh your browser. It's coming up. Okay, so I think many of us have created our club logos. How are we doing with club logo creation? Because we're going to the next thing. Have we created the club logo? We're going to the next thing, which is the lockup template. Excellent.
the chief executive, the managing director, 142, for being so brand compliant conscious. And I want to commend each and every one of us that 142 is about the best in Africa.
Any organization that does not grow dies, and we must grow. Our president, Shekas, challenged us to each one bring one, and it's doable. Today, we'll be starting the conversation on how best to achieve that tall order. I want to point out a slight adjustment in the program that you have. If you look at the program booklet, the section on preparing your club for new members, committing to diversity, every time you see the action pattern as carrying for Owerri. That is what I wanted to ask. But because we have materials who are very short notice, I really am going to step in and do that just to God. Then on business and run and register with things ideas and make a conversation. And I invite the country government, okay, but I share with us or remind us once more, our district strategic direction and empire, okay?
Because Rotary is where you come to give service. Every month that you embark on one project. And that is why this year we have lined out a project every month. And I asked, what are you doing? What are you doing? And from that event, immediately after that project, our next club meeting, somebody came and said he wanted to become a member of my club because he just like it and saw this professional handling and planting trees. Nobody paid them. Nobody paid them. And when he heard why we wanted to plant a tree, he felt compelled to want to go back. This one, we already said that if we need to show people that we are actually people of action. So my dear friends, in our different goals, let us compel ourselves to ensure that at the minimum, and I tell you, what we are doing at the district is just the minimum, that we have a different project every month, simply means do that and do your normal club. This is membership. Who knows what next month? This month is membership. Who knows what next month is? What is the project that we've adopted for next month? Okay, thank you. You see, we believe that if you want to make a change, make it sustainable. Don't do something that will come. If I don't give the person 10,000, even if you're over that street for the next 1 month, but after 1 month, you see come back to that street.
because we have not done, doesn't give you money, you go around. But imagine if you had that, put that money into teaching that person education, teaching him his skill, empowering him with something. There was a project done by a local people, bread money, and probably even training on it. So that is a sustainable project. Rather than not giving the person the money and saying, okay, whatever you want to do, the person doesn't have any skill, find an indigent girl child who is smart and adopt that child to complete that school. That what else we doing? Either it's primary school, secondary school, even the university. Now I'll tell you what that does. You're changing somebody's family life. Child abuse.
So what I'm trying to say is we can catch up anyway. And by one man price. Something that will connect members to your fellowship. What we're trying to say is get out those days that when somebody sees it, person feels like she was not made to stand out there. I bet you she can still be her own self. So we need to discuss development. So that's why some of these things should be in mid-market. If a visitor is coming, a visitor is different from a process. A visitor is a culture, because that is cultivation, a culture of growth. What did you mention about how will you market, how will you test what about it? Nobody talks. It took only you to say so that it doesn't look like this world is going back. And she initiated a discussion and different things, chance game, tractor, equality talks. But it should be part of us. A new member is coming in my club, we stand up, and after the person is adopted, we go around and shake him or her. What says that you cannot have the membership kits? I want to tell you, if you don't make the membership kits interesting for the new member, the interest starts at that point to get this person starts at that point to lose interest. You list out that we have polio plus certificates in September, we have this thing, we have this one, we have EDA, so let's replicate it. Mustn't wait for our installation project to happen. A new member should have a program immediately. That's assimilation. That makes the person to be part of this organization. And we have the members, the whole list of our members, their own numbers and classification, still given to the new member. I shouldn't want to address ID and I say, I should be giving the member that at my leisure, I can call her up. She has a classification of banking or business. Somebody somewhere can hand out to he or she and explain further those ideas. People, not many people will come to college and tell you, I don't understand this. We had a new member at part of production. DJ asked him, have you heard about the four-way text? And he said, hey, you should be okay. That should be, have you heard about that? So what we're saying is, get some things in those kids, get even some branded things as a member, as a new member, give him or her something that will be table that will remind you of membership. What do we activate? So please, our membership should be a one and done event. We should have things there. Who does what in the form, please this kind of. And why would the person be a member that office? We should open up, let other members do something. New people come to the Senate, get people that will come in who would like to be a part of this setting. Yes, it's good to have members only events, but it's equally good to open because when you open, you showcase what a potential member would have wanted, would enjoy if he or she joins. I want to tell you, if you're in this setting and you come to this person's installation, this is Smita, and they are snappy, won't it be nice? I'm not talking about the content, the other things they have done, you just want to be part of this. Rotary gives us a privilege. We should open up our events so that others can qualify. Let's know that people join Rotary and other membership organizations because of the connection they couldn't find elsewhere. So if they couldn't find it elsewhere, I need to give them that connection in the phone. Our social media is social media till tomorrow. let's celebrate ourselves in our social media. Let's simply know that it's social media. What we do there goes a long way on our image, goes a long way on our brand. I know it was discussed extensively yesterday, but we don't just post for posting. I wrote on the president platform that many of us doing installation, if we take their cards and upload on my page on Facebook, my friend Uyo will ask, that's Uyo, can I join them? But we keep circling inside our own place. We are not discussing Rotary to me now. I'm already Rotary. We are Rotary. So we need to get the next person in. So please, let's know that we should be able to differentiate ourselves from there. And so we get our families involved. When the people on the other side, the two great men, the one on traditional has two of his sons in a club, direct sons. He just has 3 sons and 2 are in a club. What does it mean? There's a culture, there's life, he believes in it. The other person is called a son-in-law is the teacher. And we have family. If you get our families involved in our recruitment, I tell you, my wife will tell you, he went for Rotary, he has his fund there. And some other person, we discuss each other. And before you know it, we are moving. Our mandate this Rotary Year, just simple task. Let's grow our membership. Let's grow our membership. And let's go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're visiting our National Museum. When you're ready, come I'll take you to the head of the museum and give you a team benefit. But take it back.
Rotary Global. Is there not somewhere about and anyone that asks you about Rotary, tell them that August is what we do in August is membership. You already know the ground rule. Simple. Keep your phone on silent mode. Avoid distractions, avoid mental movement, so can concentrate. So, let's get started. You already know my name, and that's how to connect with me. Our topic is membership extension, understanding the new club models and exploring the opportunities therein. New club models, the opportunities it presents, and how we can understand them and better use them. Before we get to the learning objectives, I'll tell you a very short story before this part of this presentation. Sometime in the mid-2000s, I chartered an entire club in Alabama, recruited young people into it in that school, and one of those that were recruited to that club wanted to leave the club because of his faith, but who pushed along and managed to convince him not to leave. Ultimately, he became one of the finest characters in that club. Graduated and left the entire club and left the school. Eventually became a Rotary, an active one for that matter. A few weeks ago, when we held a district conference here in Owerri, in the building opposite here, he was on stage to make an announcement concerning the installation of the DRR that happened. Beyond that too, he served in the Public Image Committee of our district as the Abia rep for Rotary. Dear friends, I talk about the president for the current year of Rotary Club Asiaman Sunrise Community Based. We're talking about membership, we're talking about public speech. It is a combination of both. For our learning objective, we will try to see how to understand what our organization is, understand the need for membership extension, identify new club models, and then see the opportunities that this brings. You already know how I can describe our organization. Can I ask you to please read what you find on the screen? Can we read it together, please? You have to demonstrate good character, be a person of integrity, and demonstrate leadership. Apart from Rotary, whose membership age is between 18 and 30, any other person qualified. And of course, you must be willing to serve in the community and impact the best you can. For you to be able to impact, you must understand your Rotary environment. Rotary clubs share similar values and have passion for service. But truth is, no two Rotary clubs are exactly the same. What is the reason? The reason is that we operate in environments that are slightly different one from the other, have some certain peculiarities. Therefore, presents a situation for the need for extension. Because of those little distinctions, we don't find the need for us to extend, that is, create new clubs to accommodate these environments. For example, here in Owerri, you may discover that in a certain part of Owerri, the ecology of that area is different from another part. What has said for itself, especially in the avenues of service, 5 of them, in the areas of focus, 7 of them, we will have the opportunity of being greater and better than we have done if we have fewer Rotary clubs. This means the more Rotary clubs we have, the more opportunity we have to impact on the community where our clubs exist. And that is one key thing about extension. And because of the import of extension, Owerri has offered an award on membership development and extension. Now, extension is not just for the sake of growth. It is rather a strategic plan. In other words, clubs are expected to inculcate and incorporate extension as part of the strategic plan, which will review in 3 years intervals. If you meet your targets, you re-strategize and reappraise your plans. So the earlier we begin to incorporate them into our strategic plan, club strategic plan, the better it is for us to begin to imagine that between this time and this time, we expect that our club should have chartered a new Rotary club. So if it is not a strategic plan, what the district governor is emphasizing concerning membership and what the membership chair has just spoken about will happen seamlessly. In fact, it's going to be on autopilot, driving itself, because we already know that between this time and this time, we'll have a target. Now the following can serve us as possible resources for extension. We can find leading businesses and organizations in an area. We can also find Rotarians in neighboring clubs who do not fit into an existing situation, for example, timing. You can also find former Rotarians who simply left Rotary and asked them, why did you leave? Using exit interview, you may discover that they were simply not disgruntled, but maybe out of inertia, they simply stopped coming for meetings and no longer were there. But from private business, but are not tired. During the discount, I was pleased to find one of the, was it discount or installation? I'm not very certain again. I think it was, I'm not sure, I think it was this tired. So these are possible places we can find persons as resources that can people a new Rotary club. Now, what are the models we are referring to? The emergence of new club models is evidence that Rotary clubs and districts are working actively to advance the priorities of flexibility in our organization. If you remember parts of our vision, it talks about adaptability. And it is in trying to adapt to current realities that these new club models have become necessary. Usually, in the club to which you belong, you always talk about a meeting location that is instituted. You talk about what you have to do or what you have not to do. And some persons find that boring, especially at a time that technology has taken over the world. So we now need to adapt, and that is why Rotary is as flexible as it can be. That is why Rotary has survived in the last bylaw of board of directors. Those who want a club experience by meeting format or something other than what is offered by the national clubs, this usually appeals to them. That is flexibility. In other words, this must, as a matter of course, as an e-club, a few days ago. Now, this club is primarily designed to meet online. This is where technology comes in. Passport club is similar to e-club. But let us see the major difference. A Rotary club that allows members to attend other Rotary club meetings as long as they attend a defined number of meetings in their club annually. This variant is designed to appeal to such persons who travel frequently, or those who enjoy trying a variety of club experiences and meeting lots of new people. Remember, we are either headed for home, or we go hanging out to unwind for the day. The time of hanging out is also an opportunity to be converted into fellowship and something new begins to happen with your friends, with your colleagues in the same employment. Course-based club is another variant. This club type is for whose members are passionate about a particular cause, environment, health. Just like you find action groups and fellowships, persons that are interested in similar situations can come together and form a Rotary club that basically will be in pursuit of that cause: eradication of malaria, polio, which we have just achieved in Nigeria, and so on and so forth. A lot of things can make people decide to come together and pursue that cause. So that becomes the reason why that Rotary club is existing. That doesn't mean that other things that Rotary does will not be done. But the cardinal reason is to see that this particular thing we're in pursuit of comes to a successful end or is better managed. That is what a cost-based club does. Addresses a particular problem. It doesn't also mean that it can be a problem that is definite or infinite. It can also be a problem that is a recurrent situation. For example, a club can be created for purposes of road traffic, and this is something that never stops. And the reason why that club will exist today to ensure that people learn the etiquette of being on the road, safety, and at the same time, making other people appreciate the reason why there should also not be nuisance or constitute danger for other road users. These are courses for which the Rotary Club can exist under this typology. You have alumni-based club typology. Yeah. I think you're in a better position to tell us the story of Rotary. But one of the basic things we should know is that for Rotary, there are people that are high flyers. Thank God for the elevation of Rotary. Thank God for dual membership. Some Rotarians even say that to young people that want to become Rotarians. But let us recognize that there are high flyers. Some persons who are in between these 8 brackets, they're already doing well, they own a vocation or a business, which is one of the criteria for Rotary membership. So we cannot make some people not become Rotarians just because of age. And remember that Rotary has been elevated. So, a Rotaract or somebody who is in this 8 bracket can actually become a Rotarian if he doesn't want to be in Rotaract or doesn't want to fully be in Rotaract. He can also be a Rotaract and at the same time a Rotarian because he must be a wonderful audience. But if you do, I'll be very willing to take the questions. I can only say thank you so much, thank you so much for your kind attention.
Well, thank you very much, Past Assistant Governor Khan. And we appreciate him once more. And we are sure that the willingness to ask questions is also there. And at the appropriate time, we will bring all the speakers back. But let's keep moving forward. Past Assistant Governor here. As we prepare a course for new members, we also must commit to diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's going to be a very interesting session. So you will do well to put your phones aside and be part of the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Trainer. District Governor. Good morning, dear friends. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. It's good. How many of us were around doing the workout? You have to walk now, just up. Part 1 and part 2. Thank you very much. I've been asked to talk to us on a very exciting area. I know Rotary has become so interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion. I hope this one is going to play now. Let's see. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. My dear friends, my name is Onyinye. I haven't changed my name. I'm a Rotarian of the Rotary Club Clinical Central. And I've been asked to share my thoughts with us on preparing your club for new members committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The top priority of Rotary International presently is growing and diversifying our membership to make sure we reflect the communities we serve. To have a club or organization that is more open and inclusive, fair to all, builds goodwill and benefits our communities. I want us to just take time to go through this Rotary International policy on diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's going to be a practical session, but you're not going to lose the brand at all. Just calm down. I want to quote what the Rotary International policy is, or let me ask someone to read it out.
Our policy on diversity, equity, and inclusion. As a Rotary network that strives to build a world where people smile and take action to create a lasting change, Rotary values diversity and celebrates the contributions of people of all backgrounds, regardless of their age, ethnicity, color, abilities, religion, socio-economic status, cultural, sex, sexual orientation, and gender diversity. Identity, Rotary will cultivate a diverse, equitable, inclusive culture in which people from underrepresented groups have greater opportunities to participate as members and leaders.
Yes, they're doing good. So I need 4 persons, 4 volunteers.
administration club. And I realized we're actually not networking properly, because if I want something like an IT service, I don't have it. I want, say, engineering, civil engineering, I don't have it. I'm going to be challenged. The same with other.
We saw that at least our different classifications, many people are not paying attention to farming, and then hunger, it also brings about violence. So we were able to actually, as a team, set out a smart, which is specific, realistic, measurable, accurate, and time-bound way to go about producing an agro way of producing more food to supply the upcoming generation, and in that way, with teamwork, we have set out that at least our individual differences. Research carried out in my own club, we realized that in my own club we had less number of physically challenged. And in the community, in fact in Rotary as a whole, we find out that we have less of these people, and then it kept us wondering, why do we have less number of the physically challenged? Does it mean they are not important in the organization? Does it mean they are not important in the community? And then we have also come to realize that, of course, everybody is unique and is very important in your own way. So at the end of the research, we made a resolution that we'll go out there, seek for the physically challenged persons that can add value to the organization, and we'll welcome them into the organization.
Stabilization, and we looked at ourselves and knew that we had a lot of medical doctors, lawyers, accountants, and the rest. And we noticed that we didn't have enough entrepreneurs, enough craftsmen, enough website designers, and social media enhancers. So I believe that we need these people in our midst, and we had an action plan where we decided that we need to spread ourselves into groups and to talk to our friends to ensure that we bring in individuals that we need to see. Thank you very much.
Activities and so on. If these persons are not included in our decision making, projects and so on, they will feel not valued, and the benefits of their diverse experience will be lost. Secondly, an expert in diversity and inclusion, Benameyers, simplified DIS. Diversity is like being invited to a party, and inclusion means being asked to dance. Again, this is my contact. If you need to talk to me, I'm just a phone away. Thank you very much.
But because of the body movement of some of the retractors, they are having fun. So most of the times when you involve your retractors, they are also in their activities. Ensure they maintain top levels and manage funds properly for investor members into Rotary. They motivate and mentor them. Already we have discussion with the district governor on the mentorship platform. The plan is where we have Rotarians in the field, professional fields such as medical, engineering, ICT, what have you, can be able to have our contractors who are institution-based or community-based that are also in those fields. They can be mentored by Rotarians in that field, in their medical field, in their engineering field. So at the end of the day, they get not only the classroom experience, but also the professional experience, those that are in the field. So it's part of the mentorship and the motivation aspect of it. Then you get, for the first time in stuff is now 140, they just calculate this situation, had over 100 registered contractors, and some of us that we are there, we witness what contractors are bringing to the level. So while we also discussed with the Rotary leaders on best practices to promote Rotary, train emerging leaders and help clubs to encourage Rotarys to attend Rotary pre-conventions. This will enable them to exchange ideas and learn more, not just about club membership, but about the connection between Rotary and Rotary International. Partner and promote. Volunteer at local club service projects and invite Rotarys to join our projects in our clubs. Develop projects contractors, invite contractors in global grant projects. Recognize contractors' accomplishments at project plus. Please, my dear Rotarians, President, make sure that your new generation chairs in your club start doing their duties for our contractors. They should find them to attend their sponsor Rotary clubs. Know what they are doing. Let me appreciate all Rotarians of the Sidnam for so far making this church for this way to get very spiritual. I know you are able to do more, but then let's not forget that the dream of increasing our membership higher than all persons. Thank you.
Speaking the truth always, never
Please, before you leave to this announcement, going to sign attendance there to be sure to be part of the membership.
I don't know about numbers. 10 minutes after. Now let me just ask one more question and I'll take the answer from a man somewhere. No man. I give it to
A customer comes to gates while a member comes to invest on his electrical.
Customer comes to do what?
To get thinking of what he wants to get to buy, if, for example, the shop.
To buy, okay?
But the member invests to make the direction to grow.
Okay, did you get that? The customer comes to buy, the member invests. So who wins? Nobody. So I take my price away. Is that fair all concerned? Okay. As you say, I'll see you in camera. Membership engagement is necessary for growth in our club. And one thing I like about, I know about membership engagement is that the leadership of the club, and it is a club member, must have interpersonal fellowship. And the president introduced every member by name and classification. I was so impressed. He knew all the members by name and classification. What does that do to that member? What does it do to the member? As Anna has 100 and something. Tell me how you know them, all of them. By name. And classification. So what do you think that you're knowing?
Just give them a sense of ownership.
Good. Now, if you
increase their zeal and motivation to make the club grow, because they are now owners of the club.
Very good, because they are part of that ownership. Now, when a new member comes to our club, I call it onboarding. They're just coming to work. And you know this popular idea that says first impression really matters. Yesterday, in the other session, we had somebody who said she used to come to the fellowship for so many months and I was just like a visitor. Because she didn't know what they were doing. I mean, they were doing their own thing. Now, what is it?
Closer to God, and then they'll be so relaxed. And then they'll be like, okay, yeah, these people really want to do.
Okay. What he's talking about is bonding.
Next time you want to come.
A sense of ownership. You understand? Okay. When you talk to them about what they can do, have you understood? Somebody said yesterday, all these things that people are talking, PEG, AG, I don't even know the meaning. Something as simple as that. Then all these PEG, AG, APRI, I don't know the meaning. I mean, the meaning of people, why are you going to what is there to achieve in Rotary? Don't just assume that they are coming to Rotary because they heard about Rotary. No. Have an interpersonal relationship with the new Rotarian. Discuss with that Rotarian. A lot of them talk about adding value to the Rotarian. A lot of them have said, don't let somebody come and be wasting time because we are doing fun fellowship all the time. No. Yes, while we are trying to make our club meetings vibrant, while we are trying to diversify in our club meetings, I
feel that that is her club and she will stay. PHOE, please give her a pin. I have many things to give her. Give her a Sylvia. Owerri. See your presence is not tracking now.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so excited. I can feel the excitement in you. I want to see you by this time next year having brought how many persons?
In the process of bringing 2 persons.
Thank you. When are they going to do
Okay, now.
With that method, we get full members involved. By the time I'm calling IPDS, why he didn't come for meeting in the last 3 weeks, and I call him again, and we are meeting physically, I will have to ensure that when you are coming for the next meeting, I should be there, true or false. And so in that way, we are able to get people involved in growing the club. So that it's not Allah's club, no, it's our club. And so since members are involved in follow-up, they are compelled to participate in the building of the club. Now look inward to know what makes other club organizations increase in membership and see if you can bring that treatment to your club or refine the idea discovered. In a number of meetings we've had to ask members, what can we do to build this club? What can we do to make our meetings exciting? What do you do in your own organization to keep members, to ensure that your product sells? And so members contribute ideas, and the best I do is listen, get everybody's opinion, and we work on them. We have personal relationships with members. In other words, a member who pays is patronized by the club. The club should know that Mr. A survives completely. And we encourage other members to support. And where we cannot help, we regret. But as much as possible, we are concerned about your day-to-day life. Implement a feedback program. This will keep you in the loop of what changes you or the club may need to take in order to please members and improve your club. Remember, the club can only exist when members attend. And so the member's opinion, the member's wishes, the member's desire on what they expect when they come for meeting is most important in running the club. So all input are considered and screened. Discounts, extensions, incentives and more. You will be able to encourage current members into being part-time recruiters. And that price wasn't something you could do without, something tangible. And no sentiments, no religious sentiment. You are Muslim, you are Sunni, you are Christian, like Afghan, you are winners, you are Presbyterian. No sentiment whatsoever in the club. No political sentiment. You are PDP, you are why we just give you full right to be a club officer. Whoever is committed, whoever can get the job done is given the assignment. So no sentiment to deal with. Friendship and club business lines must be drawn. In our last installation, I tried as much as possible to ensure that members of the club handle different things. Membership and business, membership and finance. That you are my friend and you are my club, just give room for you to have living out. And so we all draw this line. No favoritism will be smelled if you want members to bring you. So every member will have that sense of belonging that this is our club. this may be hard, but let's take it. Manage the dons. Who are these dons? The dons are people who have role must remain advisory and not manipulative or oppressive. Else, members. Decisions in club should be board based or club based, and not one person imposing on others. If not, a potential member who concludes that this is not the environment that you stay. And at the first time about the newly inducted member, there are tendencies I see in the club, and I just know, man, I can't stay here. And so instead of having clashes with people, I better stay away. Instead of bringing my friend who would have loved to share fellowship with this club, I better allow the person to remain where he is. The club, we must retain members, and one member's attitude can send others away and can prevent multiplication. So we must manage it. Manage the job such that it doesn't affect multiplication or retention. Training. 3 months into the next Rotary Year, we have to focus on training. And what I mean training is invite people to come talk to members. As newbies, we are knowledge limited in terms of Rotary. And so what we did was invite AGs, past presidents to come talk to members on the rudiment of Rotary. So that members get to know why they are here. They get to also have a good ground of Rotary tenets, and then they can evangelize to other people. For those of us who are Christians, you are taught the Bible before you go out to preach the Bible to someone. True. But they are not Christians. Now, deep assignment, we talked about that today. The strengthening authority and mastery of the tenets.
And this is the Rotary Club of Get Urban. They accepted it. But they still reminded me that there was a Rotary Club of Get. I should look for the former members. Then Rotary Club of Ogoja was terminated many years ago too. And they will use a new name, Rotary Club of Ogoja Metropolitan. Owerri did not complain. The other very important thing because of the new club holders we are trying to start in the district is to remember the last one. Don't use the name of an institution as the name of a club. Otherwise, Owerri will not register it. For instance, you cannot have Rotary Club of Protect. Protect is Cross River University of Technology. But a Rotary Club can use the name of an institution if it is an institution-based Rotary Club. So you have to choose a name that have a relationship with the institution before they can register it. Mentoring the new club when they start meeting is a teamwork. It requires all the Rotarians that are interested. You may not find all the interested Rotarians for your club. You may find them in other clubs. And the district is always ready to assist the district governor-elect, the district governor nominee, the membership chair and his team. They are all there ready to assist. The PAs and the ADs, you contact them and get them to attend physical meetings or get them to give talks to the new club via Zoom or online. And I had the benefit, I benefited from that a lot. So I need to thank the PDG, Sam, Odukwe, and the
next set of awards. And I'm going to call, please later, and I'm going to call the members of the committee. Because even as I speak, I don't know the names of the club. Okay? Where is the crowd? And congratulations. The best.
The best club given to annual fund is Rotary Club of Oka Central. Oka Central, are you there? All that you please come, just come. And that was the lady that did the magic. She was our miracle lady. Congratulations. Thank you. So we're going to be Owerri Metropolitan, please. Owerri Metropolitan. Congratulations. Thank you. And then the best, yes. So the best club in polio funds giving is Rotary Club of Oka. These ones are very easy to see. You can go to my Rotary and confirm. It's not debatable. Congratulations and thank you. Stand governors, those that contributed the best. Third highest in foundation giving goes to the AG as it was then, so the 11 Rotarian AFAM OB. Is it here? Or Rotarian AFAM OB? Please, we need to hurry up. Congratulations. Thank you. And the best AG foundation giving. The best AG for foundation giving endowed funds, polio fund. Third place, Rotary Club of Oka Central. Oka Central. Congratulations. Thank you for giving. Second place, Rotary Club of Owerri Metropolitan. Let's make it. Sorry, I don't need to go on. Okay, please, let's read it for me. Okay? So the best, Owerri Central, thank you, and second, Owerri Metropolitan. Thank you so much. Next category is membership growth. Now this was very important to us. So for the third, they were joint winners. Rotary Club of Onitsha Gateway and Rotary Club of Onitsha Royal. Joint. Thank you. Second place goes to keep the good work. Now, we have done something like this before, but we just needed to give the plaques. Committee, second runner-up, best committee chair, PhD Onyera, please come and take your plaque. Best runner-up, PhD Adeshegun Tijani, please your plaque. And of course, the best PhD in Owerri, please come and take your plaque. Congratulations. Thanks for the work. Now, thank you. Nelson of the Rotary Club of Europe. Congratulations. And then, the best president, Rotary Year of the Rotary Club of
My own engineer.
come and receive this exceptional service award. You could have easily been the best committee chair and committee chair. Congratulations. A well-served year, and please there are still opportunities to do better this year. Thank you so much. My DG, thank you for this time.
From the front. We are doing it again this morning. Right, that line. Now, the district, for this person that won this, was open to everybody to see. God's votes across the district. And the best competitor of the vote, Rotarian Bella, that's the answer.
Capacity.
And the registered with 92 members. 92. Hold on.
Why don't you change? Go my right side.
I've been told that this Rotarian is just about one vote goal in Rotary. For Imo State, best Rotarian of the month for Imo State, Rotarian Dorothy August. Thank you, everybody. I have a special recognition. There's somebody that has been with us here since yesterday, and somebody who has been committed to what we are doing and has been assimilating all the actions that we have been taking, and has promised me that when they get back, they are going to have an interact club somewhere. So I want to specially recognize her. Vivian, please come. This young lady, come on. She stepped out. This young lady has been with us since yesterday. She's been in all the sessions. And I've been watching her, she's been listening attentively. And she's, what school are you in? Tower of Ivory School in New York. And because of her, I've already told the Assistant Governor and Bella that they are going to set up an interact club in her school. And she's going to be the chapter president. Congratulations, and you're keeping up. Well done. Hope to see you soon with the Interact Club of Tower. Well done. Thank you so much. My dear friends, the day is full spent, but I have two special informations to do. We have successfully had our installation and discussion. We have all had our calendar. If we all remember the President-elect training seminar event,
come in, we will have given you the money for this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We need to learn to comport ourselves better. The noise that came out from this hall today is unbecoming of the jury. And I'm saying it because I've had several calls as to what happened during the installation. Rotarians did not comport themselves accordingly. So I humbly appeal to all of us. For future events, we have time to have fun, we have time for Rotary business. When we finish Rotary business, we can go and shout the country down. Nobody will complain. But please, during our events, let us try to comport ourselves better. And to help us with that, part of the challenge we have is that we didn't have a standing sergeant and arms team. Is Rotary Mitchell everywhere here? Mitchell, please come. $1 million. Mitchell is now our district sergeant at arms. And his task is very simple. If you must disturb others, you will pay $50 for every episode. And Mitchell is our chief collector. So Mitchell, your target is $300,000. Your own personal target, $300,000 out of the 1 million. So congratulations, and we hope that we start today. Thank you, congratulations, everybody. My dear friends, before I go again about polio, we have eradicated the wild polio virus. So why talk about polio? But I want to tell you that we have a greater task as Rotarians now. The vaccine that we were giving to children to keep polio out is now producing a vaccine-derived polio. So we now have that great task to convince parents to accept the new vaccine that will produce to eradicate a vaccine-derived polio. That's the big task. Aside from that, we also need to raise a good amount of money to ensure that these vaccines get to the end users. The cops on their own have set a target of $32,000 for polio for this Rotary Year. I know we can do better than that. But I want to ask all of you, please donate at least $10 each. If we are looking at 4,000 Rotarians in the Senior 140, $10 each will take us to 40,000. And I know we'll even do better. Personally, I know I'll give at least $1,000 to polio for. How many of us are here, my friends? Can I see by raise of hands? Are you my friends? Or you are going to abandon me in this quest? Please, if you look at that as it's being said, we are going to be appreciating the best clubs quarterly on polio billing. As you pay, send the evidence of payments to me or send it to the immediate past district secretary. We are going to ensure that the monies are credited to
That's the knife. Give me your team. Every day. What do you want to do? Do something. August. I like this your jacket. It's very heavy. I'm having pockets. One.
Cut the pocket well now.
I don't want to talk. Alright. 5,000 naira. The money of the this thing is like before we go. My agent. July or August. White angel. Yeah. Please, the ones visit account is paid. Thank you, Adela. 5,000 from my agent.
Ding dong, come and share with us.